Can you guys hear me? You guys there?
Yep. Hey, Keith.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Corey.
Hey,
We're live right now. I don't know if you guys want to turn your cameras on. That'd be super. Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unbanked AMA. We're super excited to have you guys with us here today. We're going to answer some of your questions and tell you more about what's been going on with our company. Joining us today is Unbanked CTO Corey Ballou, our CFO Natalia Radyushkin, and Unbanked's General Manager Keith Johnson. If you'd like to submit a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat window and they'll get to them accordingly. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Corey and begin some introductions.
perfect. Thank you for that. Hey, I'm Corey Ballou. I've been CTO for quite some time now with Unbanked. I've been here since the beginning, back when we launched in 2017. So it feels like an eternity in the crypto world. I've actually been in the crypto space building since 2014, starting on the Stellar network. And we just slowly broadened our horizons and expanded on other networks as well. But heavily invested and engaged in the crypto community this whole time. And I am responsible for all things DeFi, blockchain, crypto on the Unbanked team, and just making sure that we're delivering smooth products and having no hiccups for all of our users. I guess I'll kick it off now and pass the buck over to Natalia, who is our CFO.
Hi, I'm Natalia Radyushkin. I'm CFO at Unbanked. I've been in the Bitcoin space since 2016, and I'm very excited about new products that we're going to be telling you about today.
Okay. Thanks, Natalia, for that. This is Keith Johnson. I'm the General Manager of Unbanked. I've been with Unbanked for close to 3 years now. I've had a couple of different roles. Prior to my current role, I was Vice President of Product. Now I'm the General Manager. I have responsibility for product management, compliance, customer service, customer onboarding. Pretty much I work closely with Corey and with Natalia to make sure that things flow smoothly and that we deliver products that the customers want, and we can do that in a secure and compliant manner.
Perfect. All right. So Danielle, I'm assuming you're going to be fielding all the questions for us. Is that correct?
Yes, I have a list of questions that have been submitted via social media. So I will feed those to you guys. And then we also, for anyone who wants to drop any in the chat window, you guys are free to pick those up as well. So the first question that we have is, what's the status of the unbanked trademark?
Keith, I think that's a good one for you.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, right now that's going through the approval process. We've gotten a tentative approval for that, and we expect to have final approval for that trademark in the next 30 days. So
that's awesome. Love to hear it. So let's see, where are things on fundraising? Are we still on track for CF prior to A, and when might those happen?
Yes, I can take that. So we're definitely on track with doing the Reg CF by kicking it off by the end of this month. Reg A definitely takes a little bit longer. The SEC has quite a sophisticated approval process, so we're still on track with that. And but definitely the Reg CF is going to kick off before the end of this month.
All right, Ryan wants to know, what contract protocol are you using for your ETH contracts?
So behind the scenes, we're not specifically going to be targeting any specific one protocol for products. So specific to the yield product, there's no one target partner right now. We're more looking at a basket of partners in the future. So we don't want to name anyone specifically, primarily because it's, you know, a competitive advantage for us to not do so.
And so Gambus wants to know, do you guys believe in releasing a roadmap? The emails say we're doing new cards, new locations, NFT, DeFi, but where's the roadmap?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on in tandem. So in terms of the road mapping, you know, we have a team size that's about 50. So we work on several things at the same time on the tech side. We don't necessarily want to release roadmaps because historically on the tech side, you know, things go slow, whether it's regulatory approval or just bottlenecks we see in shifts in focus when anything from a partner protocol may have issues. So for that reason, we try and keep things a little bit more granular in terms of things that we're working on broadly and not so much on when we're expecting individual items to drop. And that's to try and quell some of the user questions as well, because everyone in this market wants things to move very fast. And you know, we're just trying to make sure we deliver what's best.
Yeah, but of course, just to add on to that, Corey, but of course we do have an internal product roadmap. We're working on multiple things. We'll talk about some of those things today. We're very excited about including our yield product. But just keep in mind, another reason for not releasing an official, so to speak, product roadmap to the market is because, you know, because we're in the crypto space, there's a lot of regulatory requirements. We have very sophisticated partners that have their own regulatory requirements. So these things really from time to time do impact, you know, when and how we can release products, right? So some complexities there, but we do have an internal roadmap, and we can share something a little bit more than we have that gives an idea on what we're focused on in terms of first quarter, second quarter, third quarter of this year. So that's something we can look at, and we can probably do something along those lines.
Matthew would like to know if you can address the Plaid integration efforts.
Yes. So while we did have Plaid live for quite some time, there was actually some internal issues with certain banks and connectivity with Plaid regarding balances. Those actually lead to returns on the ACH network. And specific to ACH, if you have a certain return rate, you run into issues. So because of that, we're just tweaking the Plaid network to make sure we're handling balances accordingly before we're actually going to turn those back on, simply because we want to make sure we're staying compliant with all our partners and banking providers. And we expect it to be turned on quickly, but we did have to reach out to Plaid to try and uncover some underlying issues we were seeing with $0 balances, things like that. So just as transparent as we can be, there's just some issues with using Plaid, with how many blanks they're actually trying to integrate with that do cause some issues behind the scenes.
Definitely. And I know we're talking a lot about features and kind of the things that are upcoming. Jerry would like to know, are we planning to roll out a feature for tax reporting?
You know, that is definitely something that we've discussed internally. While we don't have a steadfast feature functionality, what we're looking to do is open up some tools where you could probably more easily plug them into something like a cryptotrader.tax or equivalent.
Yeah, but generally speaking, just to add on to that, Corey, that's not our specialty, but we do want to support. There are other companies out there that do that very well. So things that we'll be looking, you know, to do in the future is making sure that we provide you the information that you can use in a very transparent way to download to those other applications to get, you know, the proper reporting that you would like to have. So.
That's great. William wants to know when we will be able to get UNBNK token to replace Turn.
That's actually very soon. So in terms of road mapping, you can expect that in this quarter very soon.
And then coming back to the Reg CF, I know everyone's really excited about that. I don't know, are we able to share the valuation for the Reg CF raise?
For the time being, we're not going to share that amount. It's let me return to that question in just a minute.
No worries, no worries. Let's see. Will checking account numbers and direct deposits be issued similar to Cash App? I've been trying to start a car payment.
Checking account numbers similar to Cash App. I guess I'm not too familiar with the checking account number. So we have multiple checking account providers, and they actually function entirely differently depending on your nationality and your country of origin. So it does actually depend on the partner and where you're located in terms of the functionality you're going to receive. For the US-based solution, yes, you have your own personalized number. And for the broader internationalized solution, it's a little bit more tightly coupled to wires. So there is differences, and there's trade-offs on ultimately security and trust based on the locality, and that just has to do with our upstream providers and banking partners.
Yeah. And was the question about a user wanting to make a direct deposit? Is that the question?
It looks like he followed up with the UNBNK card has worked well for rent payments, online shopping, P2P crypto payments, but I think they're referring, mostly to direct deposits.
Oh, okay, onto the card itself. There's actually reasons that we don't enable that, and that's because there's decreased flexibility on direct deposit to the card from the bank account in terms of handling things like fraud and returns. So because of that, we tend to try and steer customers in the direction of the actual checking account products, because those are a lot more heavily regulated and we have a lot more flexibility in managing them in a compliant manner.
Definitely. And then they will also want to know, are there any partnerships that we're able to mention right now?
Keith, I'll put that on my record.
The main partners that we're using, right? We have technology partners and we have go-to-market partners right now. Most of them are fairly well known. We have partnerships with Visa, we have partnerships with MasterCard, and we have partnerships with various issuers in the U.S. and Europe and in Latin America. So we do have partnerships out there, and we've actually named some of those already and done some press releases.
Okay. And to your point on the white label side, there's some that we can't name until closer to launch. And to be as transparent as we can, a lot of that does have to do with approvals, making sure they go through, they get their KYB with our banking partners. There's an entire process flow that needs to happen before we can even make those known.
Going back to some of our questions from Twitter, is DeFi using MetaMask or a compatible wallet with ETH USDT only? Are there any plans to use ERC UNBNK?
Yeah, so that's a great question on the DeFi side. Holistically, we're trying to start with something that's approachable to a broader community, and we're targeting stable coins up front. So not just USDT, but a basket of stable coins, specifically on the ETH network for now. That's not to say we don't have plans of expanding that, not only on the network level, but on the asset level. We just feel it's a good comfort level for users who may not be as familiar with crypto to get into something that seems less risky. And ultimately, if you're talking liquidity pooling, and yield farming, it is less risky to be trading into stable coins.
And on the note of USDT, there's also a question here: will there be an option to buy USDT on the Unbanked site?
Yeah, there's actually that's definitely something that we could be doing. We could actually drastically increase the scope of the ERC20s relatively quickly. We've just been focusing our efforts on some other projects right now, but yes, there's no reason that we couldn't expand that to your standard fare USDT, USDC, PAX, basically the same assets you see in our deposit flow.
Yeah, and just to add to that, you'll probably see that coincident with the new yield product that we're working on as well. So it fits very smoothly, right? It'll tie into users' bank accounts. They'll be able to go ahead and buy USDC. They'll be able to get it from there and actually invest in the yield product if that's something that they want to do. But it's a natural for us. It's actually easy for us to do that. It's just that we're juggling lots of different things. And so, we haven't done it yet, but that's certainly on our roadmap.
That's great. And on the note of unbanked yield, Jeff wants to know if unbanked yield will allow users to yield farm using stablecoins or only with UNBNK tokens.
The yield farming would actually be with stablecoins. So it's not actually with our own token itself, although we do plan on adding in some layers of utility of our token on the platform.
Yeah, just to add to what Corey said there, just when we talk about the yield product, part of what we're going to be trying to accomplish there, what we will be accomplishing, is right now DeFi is really complex to the everyday person. What we're trying to do with this product is make it usable and accessible to everyone, right? Because there's high yield out there in the marketplace, but it's complex and confusing and generally not accessible to the everyday person, even a person who may have access to crypto. And so what we're going to be doing is really making it easy for users to actually partake in that type of investment opportunity, right? So,
especially as a trusted long-term entity in the space, right? I mean, that's one thing we can offer is we've been around since 2017. Unlike some of these newer DeFi platforms that come in day to day, we've been around. We've gone through the ringer over the years. So we're just looking to try and promote something that can be used a lot more broadly with a little bit less, reservation from users, because yield farming is, for the general population, it's not even a term they've heard of. So we're trying to make it a little bit more mainstream and trying to cater to people that do have capital that they aren't necessarily putting into use, whether it's in savings or alternative. Instead of just getting your 1% back from your bank, there's opportunities to be making 10+% and relatively safely, right?
And then, on all of those notes, so another question from Twitter: what options will there be for ERC, UNBNK as far as swaps are concerned? Will they need to do that externally, or is that something that we're exploring?
That's actually a great question. So I think we're at least exploring getting it listed on different services and platforms, anywhere decentralized, right? I think you're already going to see it on Uniswap and equivalents, right? So there's no reason you can't be going out there in the ERC20 ecosystem and being able to trade that seamlessly. But we will be looking to add some on and off ramps directly from our website, so that you're going to be depositing into UNBNK in the future, and you would have the optionality of actually withdrawing in either XLM or ERC20 variant in the future. So depending on your appetite for staying in Ethereum with higher fees, or on the Stellar network with significantly lower transaction costs and fees, both of those would be available to you in the future.
I want to come back for a minute just to the information about the Reg CF. I know, Natalia, you said that you had some more information about the Reg CF. We also have a question about if it's going to be an equity price round or safe, as well as the valuation.
I can speak to that. So the next following Reg CF round is going to be at the 115 valuation with a 20% discount, and this will be a safe note as well, as done previously. So just to explain, the 115 round, it means it will convert if the subsequent round to the Reg CF will be higher, the valuation cap will be 115. If it will be lower, then the 20% discount will be applied. And yes, the subsequent round, or this round, will also be a safe valuation, a safe note.
Awesome, thank you. Going back to Twitter, is there any consideration on the vault to increase payout frequency to monthly, maybe after a 6 or 12 month lock, or by NFT status possibly?
I don't think that's something that we've wholly discussed in detail internally with the team on the payout frequency and trying to short circuit that. But depending on user interest, I'm sure we'd be at least willing to explore different alternative mechanisms for unlocking.
That's awesome. We have heard soon on many items, some in excess of a year. What's the team's definition of soon? And what are the things that are coming up that impede that progress as some were weeks, months ago?
Yeah, I can take a shot at that. And this goes back to the question that was asked earlier about our roadmap. Soon to us, let me answer the question a different way, right? What we do is we actually release a roadmap and we actually work on new products. But during that process, it can become very complicated because you have regulatory approvals, you have government approvals, you have compliance approvals, and these things can sometimes take years, to be honest. I mean, we have when you're dealing with regulatory bodies and you're dealing in cryptocurrency, everything moves much slower than you would anticipate, right? And that's just what we found as we're trying to release a new product in Europe. We're going to be launching in Europe. It's going to be second quarter this year, which is our target. We're going to be testing the end of this quarter, but that's taken a very long time because, to get a cryptocurrency-based card approved that has association with cryptocurrency in the Europe region, it just literally took us over a year getting approvals from our partners, MasterCard, and from the various country and governmental agencies that oversee it. So these are things that always come up. And as you kind of are, the cryptocurrency space itself is kind of still in its infancy, I would say, to be honest. But as you live and learn and work in this, you kind of understand that you kind of have to be thoughtful about this and you can't anticipate these things. So that's why we're going to be a little bit more reticent when we release our product schedule. But that being said, we've gotten the approvals to launch our card in Europe from MasterCard, who we're going to be launching with. We've gotten an issuer approval. We've gotten the regulatory approvals, and we plan to be testing the end of this quarter and launching it in the second quarter. There's might be some opportunity to improve that, but that's kind of where we are right now.
And to Keith's point, we're trying to get approvals in countries that are well known and respected too, right? So we're not trying to circumvent any processes here or trying to take the quick route by any means. We're trying to do things to be a long-standing company that's well respected in the industry. So that's, we're few and far between, to be quite honest, in this industry. The other thing that slows us down a lot of the time is it's still the Wild West in terms of just general integrations and partnerships are concerned. Our partners are constantly moving too. So when we have any issues with partners, we wind up having to basically, we're in the same ship with them, right? If they need to go and switch any of their underlying systems or they have downtime or any of that, that does actually create quite the backlog for us to have to go in and rectify anything behind the scenes, which is not apparent to the public, but there's plenty of times where we're having to go in on the fly and work directly with partners because they're having to switch out something on their end with a banking provider. So there's a lot of unforeseen things in crypto that we just have to deal with, and we try and take it in stride and make it look easy, right? But yeah, we definitely understand that our timelines are tough. That's also we have a hard time giving them because the space moves a lot slower when you do have that regulatory approval and as many partners as we do because of the amount of product lines we have.
And I think that's a good segue into some of the recent questions that are coming up in the channel here. So number one, who's the card issuer in Europe? But Jeff also wants to know what's the reason we're launching in Europe with MasterCard and not Visa. So to let you guys confirm or deny and then expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, we don't always release the name of our issuing partner until we've actually launched. But the way we see it is we're focused less on the partner and more on offering a solution that gets us to market the quickest. We had considered Union Pay, we had considered Visa, but MasterCard for this particular region and this particular use case is going to allow us to get to market sooner. But we also work with Visa in the US, and we're actually going to be launching a Visa product in Latin America as well We believe the first half of this year, likely the second quarter, towards the end of the second quarter. So we work with partners based on, it could be geographic based, it could be business case based, or use case based, but we're just going to continue to look for partners that allow us to actually get a solution out there that really supports our customers in a fast, compliant way, right?
And on the note of Visa, since we're talking about that, how has the Visa partnership benefited the platform development and overall business growth?
Yeah, I'll take that one as well. Visa's been a great partner for us. We love Visa. We're one of their fast track partners. And so we really love them. They have a good solution, they have a good network, and we enjoy working with them. How it's really benefited us is that because we're one of their fast track partners, one of, I believe, maybe 2 or 3, they actually pass customers who have innovative use cases that want to be on a Visa network to us. And because of that, we've gotten several customers. We've gotten a number of customers that are going to really help us really expand our market share and grow our market base. So we're very happy with that. We love Visa. We look forward to continuing to work with them. And we've gotten a number of customers because of that Visa relationship.
And I think that's a good segue into this one also from social media. Can we get a quick insight into the advantages and disadvantages of the white label business, and how does it benefit turn value?
Well, I'll take the first shot at that, and Corey, if you want to add to that, or Natalia, you can add as well. The benefit of the white label partnership, I just talked about it, that we're a Visa Fast Track partner. So because of that, they actually send us business, right? Because they believe in what we're doing. They believe in our business plan. They believe in our strategy and our technology. They trust us, right? To give us that designation. So how that benefits us and that benefits Unbanked, right? And all of our investors is because the more we do that, the more that allows us to accelerate our subscriber growth, right? That allows us to get more people into our platform, right? And that ultimately results in more revenue for us and more notoriety for us. And it can also tie into other products that we want to launch or that we're planning to do. So the way I see it, it's a great thing for us. It's a great thing for Unbanked's investors and everyone who follows us. So it's a great thing for us. So that's how it, in a way, it benefits turn value, because as the company does well, obviously that can do well as well. So.
Yep, and to touch on Keith's point, we decided to be a white label provider from the get-go and eat our own dog food by providing our own front-end UI and services on top of that white label product. So I see it as kind of the Stripe model, but applied to crypto and fintech, right? We are the fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat rails to facilitate money movements in and out. And exactly what Keith said, it's really just about growth, right? When we're growing and succeeding, we have more opportunities to expand the team and ultimately offer more and better products to our customers. So by adding in larger partners, not only are they covering some of the marketing for us, they're also providing a larger user base that's ultimately behind the scenes learning more about the underlying company and service that's providing that opportunity to them. So I think it's a win-win across the market. We're trying to get low fees, low cost to our partners. We're trying to do rev shares with all our partners. We're basically bending over backwards to try and make it as beneficial as possible for people that are partnering with us, so that it's a win-win for everybody.
And I don't know if you guys, just real quick for our viewers, can you clarify what being a Visa Fast Track partner actually means for them?
Okay, yeah, sure. Let me take that. So being a Fast Track Visa partner means that we've been certified by Visa. They've reviewed our business plan, and they've given us a designation that where people come to them and say, hey, I would like to, so I have this interesting business plan. Visa, I would like to, can we get onto your network and issue a Visa card? In these cases, many of these cases, what Visa will do is, specifically when it comes to crypto, they'll basically say, okay, we have a couple of partners, people that we've designated as Fast Track partners, work with them. We've identified them, we've checked them out, we've worked with them in the past. They can help you realize your business case, and so go ahead and work with them. And that's basically what that means. That's tangibly what it means. They give us business, things that may be too small or maybe outside of their wheelhouse where it's crypto centric. They send that business to us.
Social media also is asking, can we get a quick insight into the advantages? Oh no, sorry, we did that one, my bad. How are you avoiding resource allocations, having both an OEM white label and your own product?
So in terms of OEM, we're always building for ourselves first, right? So any product you're going to see come from us is being built specifically for our own platform with the benefit of our direct user base. And it will have the subsequent benefit of being able to be, dispersed out to partners at a later date. So if you're on our platform, you're always going to see the newest, latest, greatest first. And when we're actually investigating any feature requests from partners, those actually get prioritized based on our current timeline and the benefit of not only the partner, but ourselves and where we see that fitting on our own platform. So it's consistently about us trying to deliver to the customers and what we think is a great value add. And honestly, partners do have a lot of great ideas, to be quite honest, that'll slowly make their way into our platform and be beneficial to us, but also the future partner base. Again, it's that Stripe model where we're trying to make sure that we can broaden our horizons by including more people into the ecosystem. And then ultimately, we're just going to have a lot larger user base as a whole to grow the entire community and bring full awareness to UNBNK.
And shifting a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit about the tokens. There's quite a few questions here about that. So as the platform gets used and becomes more stable, are there any plans to consider exchange listings? If so, would it be for ERC20 UNBNK or both tokens?
Keith, do you want to touch on the first part, and then I can kind of talk on those?
Yeah, can you go ahead and ask that first part again, Danielle? I missed it.
Yes, of course. As the platform gets used and becomes more stable, are there any plans to consider exchange listings?
Exchange listings?
The second part is, if so, would it be for ERC20 UNBNK or both tokens?
I'll touch on the exchange listings right off the bat. And I will say we've never been ones that would like to proactively seek and pay exchanges for listings. So that's been our mantra from day one. We do not see the benefit. It's going to be the exchanges that really ultimately see the benefit in our platform and what it is that we're offering. They're going to see the real world usage of our asset in the platform. The debit, I mean, honestly, the debit card is one of the most used debit cards out of all the products that you see. So from that standpoint, that's not to say in the future we may not, but it would probably involve a much larger subsequent round because the amount of money that they're requesting for listings is fairly astronomical these days. So while it may make sense for some of these full-fledged DeFi platforms that had IDOs or anything equivalent, that's never been our position, to just have so much capital that we're flush and ripe with capital to go doing crazy listings with exchanges. We go on a one-off basis and look at them more as partners. So we're not looking to make any exchanges rich by any means.
Yeah. And just really to add on to that, we'll continue to sort of monitor, the business, and if at some point it makes sense for us and our investors and our customers that we seek out some exchange listings, we'll be picky about that. But if that's something that could change, right? Things could change and it might make sense for us to be aggressive in that way. But right now, I would be aligned with what Corey said there. It's not a big focus of ours, but in the future, it could change. Yeah, we're really focused on building products that customers love, that are easy to use and that are secure, right? And that we can get scale that way. But we're also aware that we want to do things that sort of, show the value of our token and really drives the value of that token up, and so we're aware of that. And that's something that we do think about, like most people.
Is the XLM turn / UNBNK going to stay native to the platform to avoid general market confusion with two tokens having the same name but different use cases?
So when you're on our centralized platform, you'll be dealing in XLM UNBNK. And that's very much because, just from a a perspective on the platforms and the underlying technologies, it's extremely cost beneficial to us and our customer base to not have to deal with the transaction fees. Should you want to withdraw, that's going to be completely up to you whether you want to withdraw on the ERC20 side or the XLM side. So, as I'm sure a lot of people here are listening and are aware, the ERC20 fees have been astronomical as of late. Things should be getting better here with ETH 2.0, but because there's no guarantee that that's going to deliver on time, we want to make sure there's optionality for users to be able to deal in and manage both.
Great. So Kevin on the YouTube channel wants to know, some of the farms offer daily reward and some upwards of 200+% with a much shorter lock period. How can we compete with this?
We're not trying to compete with the highest yielding farms right now. That's not our strategy. Our strategy is more about targeting users that are not quite familiar with yield or are looking for alternative ways of, basically expanding upon their existing wealth. So we're not going to be, if you're really into DeFi, we are not your target demographic. If you're already working directly on any of these platforms, we're trying to target the general consumer. We see this as more of a mass market play than something where if you're already broadly aware of the ecosystem, you're going to be going directly and trying to get that yield. The assets that you'd be getting with a yield like that are sometimes questionable, or the underlying means in which they're actually offering that yield. So because of that, that's nothing that we're steering into right now. Should the market change and there's some opportunity that's safe, then we would support that. But as of right now, we're trying to make sure that we go with safe options that are trusted and that people can tend to understand a little easier.
Yeah, and that would really point us towards the stable coin based yield opportunities that we talked about earlier in this conversation. So that's where we're going to really focus.
The one thing we've discussed in the future is having maybe the normal mode and then an advanced mode for users looking for a little bit something out of the norm. So we definitely have discussed it, right? But we're very, very conscious of people's money and trying to maintain that level of trust. And we'd hate for something to happen through our platform on a third-party platform for compromised funds. So we're just trying to avoid that situation altogether to start.
Great. Here's one for all three of you, and I guess we'll just go around the table. What is it about working at Unbanked that's the most exciting for you? Corey, you want to start?
It's got to be the technology, right? Things are constantly changing in this industry. We started in the 2000 ICO boom. We made it through the 2017 ICO bust later that year, right? And just from where we started to where we are now, we started with the crypto debit card, and we've just slowly progressed into this full suite of crypto and fintech related banking products where you never would have thought these would have been possible a couple of years ago. So going from that and now into the fully decentralized aspect of blockchain it's pretty amazing to see happen in such a short time span.
Yeah, I would also just add into what Corey said. I'll give my take on it. One is the space, which I think Corey talked about, which is the essence of what he was talking about. That it's a very exciting, dynamic space. It's sort of like you're at the beginning of the internet, right? And so being able to work in this space and create new products, I think is fantastic. And also the team that we have a great team, and we're doing some dynamic things. We're doing some very challenging things. So it's the people, it's the work, it's the space. So these are the things that I really enjoy, right? We have a great team, we have great leadership, and we're working in a great space, right? Who wouldn't want to work in the crypto space, to be honest? Digital currency is the future, it really is. And so that's one of the things that I really enjoy.
Yeah, and to add to what Corey and Keith have said, I mean, it's definitely exciting to have an actual real world product that creates interconnectivity between digital assets and USD or fiat right away for people that can use right now. And then also because it is a platform that can enable future growth as the ecosystem itself grows and develops, I think Unbanked is really well positioned in order to expand and continue to allow people to have access to the space.
Yeah. The access, I think that's something important that Natalia touched on, access to people. One of the things that is part of our mission statement is actually to bring access to crypto to everyone. And I think we're well along that path by the products that we're creating, right? We're creating the yield product that we talked about, our card products that we're offering, our bank accounts that we can offer in over 200 countries, right? So these are on and off ramps for crypto, allows people to purchase crypto, to partake in the crypto revolution, and we're all about it. And I think that's, to me, that's also something that doesn't go said, it's not said enough, giving access to crypto and the digital revolution. So we're all about that. So.
Awesome. And this is another one for all three of you. So on that note, what surprises you most now about working in this space?
I would say how slow things move just from the traditional finance perspective. We want to build so fast, and yet at the same time, we're often not able to launch things nearly as fast as we'd like because of the regulatory side. So it's definitely a catch-22, right? The regulation's there to keep everything safe and copacetic, but at the same time, it's really a burden when you're just trying to launch things that people want to use and would love to use, and you just can't. So I would say that's probably the most challenging thing, is not being able to launch things faster.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. I would say also in the crypto space, one of the things that's really challenging is the compliance and the regulatory schemes that's different from country to country, and the fact that it's so new. Even the SEC is slow in terms of how they view cryptocurrency. Nothing happens fast. We've been we're working with the state of New York for a BIT license, and it's been over a year. It's just that they're slow because they're overstaffed. The space is new. Administrations change. So I would say just when you want to do things in a compliant and secure manner, which is our approach, we've invested in a lot of tools that really allow us to do things in a compliant manner. It just takes so long, and sometimes you're not even sure when you're going to get an answer, right? And that's the frustrating. So it's exciting, but it's also frustrating. So you have to be patient, right?
Yeah, I would say that the technology definitely outpaces the development of technology outpaces the growth in the space as a whole. So when interfacing with third parties, there's definitely delays, and in delays because of regulatory environment is shifting, and just the understanding of the space itself, is evolving a little bit slower than the technology itself.
To your point on speed, the other thing we see is because we are that crypto to fiat rail, we still have to deal with traditional markets, and those do still move slow. So we have to have a lot of checks and balances in place on actual money movements and when they're actually hitting their final destination. And things look seamless and feel seamless on our platform because that's how they were designed. But behind the scenes, we're having to track source of funds flows all across the ecosystem from the point where it's getting traded all the way through the point where it's landing in the bank account. So it's definitely tricky. And we have to work with some pretty archaic systems behind the scenes to make it all work.
What's going on with the app?
You'll actually be seeing the app very shortly. So hopefully everybody's ready and excited for it.
Awesome. And then do you have any thoughts about where you see Unbanked in 10 years?
I would say fully decentralized, and it's going to be true to the name Unbanked is where I see it.
Yeah. Yep, agree. In 10 years, we'll have millions of customers. I would say we'll have solutions that actually cover the gamut, that cover the entire waterfront, from on and off ramps, from crypto to fiat. So anything in, anything out. And so it's basically about access. So we expect to have the cover basically the entire globe. We're going to cover the US, North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia. So we'll be a geographic company. We'll have the four corners of the world covered, and it'll be covered with all of our solutions in terms of actually offering access to people to actually use crypto in their everyday life. In addition, it's going to allow, be a way that people can have access to innovative and high yield, investment products. So that's really what we're about. So we'll be very, we'll have millions of customers. We'll have, solutions all throughout the world, on ramp, off ramp, crypto to fiat investing. So that's what it's going to be about.
Yeah, agreed. Full global presence with a full suite of financial services that are embedded and accessible by the users.
What excites you most about the NFT launch coming on January 31st? I don't know if you guys all want to take this, or one or two of you, your discretion.
I'm personally excited about the tie-in utilities of the NFTs to actual underlying products, right? There's a lot of talk and discussion in the space as to NFT projects and drops and what utility they're actually bringing. And we're actually going to be bringing real utility outside of, subsequent drops, right? We're going to have actual utility tied to an actual product line, as opposed to, something which may just be more of a trickle down effect.
Yeah, and in fact, the owners of people who are going to actually purchase the NFTs, if they also want to take advantage of the yield product, they're going to get a significant discount on it. That's being built into the product. So what we want to do is encourage our users to use all of our products. So if you are really excited and with us enough to use the NFT or to participate in that, you're going to get a benefit from that that's going to be tangible to you as well. So that excites me. Once we launch the yield product, the people who have these NFTs will be able to get access to this yield product at a discount.
Are you going to be accepting ADA soon?
Very good question. It's definitely not off the table to be accepting any new assets. We do tend to try and look more towards partnerships before we launch new assets at this point, primarily because we see the market at 85+% dominance when you're talking about simply BTC and ETH alone. So, irrespective of how much we love certain technologies, there's still such a large market dominance on two assets that sometimes it doesn't necessarily make sense to keep listing more because of the underlying technical challenges in continuing to monitor new assets all the time. For a service like our own, where we're constantly having to, listen to wallets, move funds, track funds. But no, ADA is definitely an asset that internally the tech and development team's been interested in for a long time, among others. We like assets that have quick finality. Knowing we're in fintech and seeing how quickly we can move funds, there's definitely a handful of assets that we look at as what we would consider more of the newer, modern, more approachable cryptocurrencies.
So why NFTs? Is it just a way to raise initial funds?
It actually tied in nicely with the second product that we were looking to do in the DeFi space, which was peer-to-peer lending. So the purpose of the NFT was actually to actually be self-serving from the platform side, so that you could actually be staking said same NFT into our platform, or using it for additional utility on the platform to trade for zero fees. So we saw it as a foray into this transitionary phase for us to be getting into DeFi as a whole.
Will the Reg CF be on Republic or somewhere else?
It will be on Republic.
All right. Can I trade my bankers to be shot directly onto the surface of Mars?
You're going to have to talk to Elon Musk about that one.
You're a Jeff Bezos, one of those two, right? They can help with
What's the plans for the debit card?
Fully global is really the plan. And when we speak of debit card, it's not just one product. To go global, we actually have several products depending on the country of origin and the necessary regulatory approvals, banking partners, providers, issuers. There's a whole slew of things that go into a card launch. So a lot of people may take for granted the amount of work that went into not only our original product in the US, but the subsequent products that we're launching in both the EU, Latin America, and globally. So we have a bunch of partners lined up for those. And that's why things move so slow, is getting the regulatory side and the compliance side both in line for those specific countries.
Yeah. So EU will be next. The European Union will be next. That area will be next. And then that'll be followed by Latin America. Right. And we're also looking at Canada. And then probably towards the end of next year, we'll be looking at opportunities in Asia. But, you know, we've got a lot to work on between now and then. But the immediate focus is getting launched in Europe and getting launched in Latin America, in addition to US.
And one thing to add is the EU is holding us, our partners in the EU are holding us to such high standards that we're fairly certain that the compliance measures that we have in place at this point are going to pass nearly everywhere across the globe. So from that standpoint, we're far ahead of the game.
All right, here's a good one. Who do you think are your real world competitors in this space and that you admire or consider worthy competition?
Admire is a tough word, right? You know, we don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but we definitely have a competitive landscape, right? Between the acquisitions, the Binances, the Coinbases, the Crypto.coms of the world, they're all extremely well funded, and we're definitely the underdog, right? We've always been the underdog, but you know, we're still here and growing rapidly. So because of that, we do look at them to see where they're headed in the natural landscape, but we really are working on and doing our own thing, irrespective of anything that they're doing in the market.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's well said. So we're focused on really offering solutions. You know, there's not really one competitor that we would say someone who does exactly what we do. We do different things across the payment space, right? Across the crypto space. So we have the debit card, we have the bank accounts, we have the yield product, we have the NFT, right? So we're going to be you know, doing different things that, you know, as well. So we're a little bit different. You know, our banking solution allows users to actually purchase cryptocurrency directly from that bank account, and actually we can custody that for them, or we can send that to their private wallet. So we're a bit of a different animal. So we're blazing our own trail here, and so we're a little bit different. So we don't have one competitor. We're just really focused on the customer and offering solutions that really delight our customers in a secure and compliant way. That's really what we're trying to do, and do that in a global way, right? Starting with the US, going to Europe, Latin America, with our full suite of products that really improve a customer's access to cryptocurrency, improves their access to investment products, just really helps them integrate cryptocurrency into their everyday life, because we think it's the future. And if we don't offer that future to everyone, some people can be left behind. So we're focused on offering solutions that'll be profitable for us, but that also will, like I said, delight our customers and offer them solutions in their real world everyday life. Right.
Could you expand upon volatility of the Turn USDD order book? It became quite stable over a few months the past year. What has changed, and how will it perform in the future?
Honestly, I can't even speculate on the Turn USDD order book in terms of volatility. It's maintained relatively consistent, and I don't know if we expect that to change at all. We would definitely like to offer a stablecoin product for our users. That's something that we've been investigating, primarily because in a lot of third world countries, it's beneficial to be holding stablecoin to avoid, you know, local currency fluctuations as well. So for those of you that don't enjoy Turn or the future UMBNK product, we do look at alternatives such as a stable coin as an alternative solution where you won't have to deal with any fluctuation of a crypto asset. But unfortunately, fluctuations are the nature of a non-stable coin.
Awesome. Which which products are you most proud of?
I would say, honestly, all of them. There's not one specific one that's been easy to integrate. These are definitely challenging products. We've taken different approaches than our competitors in a lot of regards. The reason we're able to open up and white label our debit card program is because of how it was built and structured. So, we can have partners that are fully in that card auth flow, meaning when you swipe at a store, we can actually have a partner approve or deny that transaction. I can't say our competitors are doing the same. So we were definitely first in that regard, and we're first in a lot of regards in terms of a lot of the products we're offering, and partners tend to follow suit. So even though we've been the quote unquote underdog, we're innovators in the space.
That's great. When is the steel made card coming out, or metal based?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I know we have, it's difficult to make those, but we do have partners that are, that we can actually manufacture those. I don't know I have to get back on a fixed date when that will be available.
Awesome. Do you guys have any final thoughts that you want to add in?
I would just add that, just like to thank all you guys who are here looking at this YouTube video. Just thank you guys for joining. Hope that we said some things that you found useful. We hope that you would continue to support us as we move forward. So we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, to Keith's point, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our user base and our devoted customers. So definitely appreciate that you've been along with us for the ride. We've accomplished a lot here in the last 4 years, and we're trying to accomplish a ton more. We see crypto as a whole as just slowly taking over the entire financial sector. So we're glad you're all along for the ride with us, and we're extremely excited about what this next decade is going to bring in terms of this transitionary period into, fully blockchain-based assets, even at the CBDC level.
And final question from our NFT characters. Just what is your favorite dinosaur?
I've always personally just been a fan of T-Rex in terms of any character itself, but I know there's a lot of people liking kaiju right now, so it's not necessarily a dinosaur, but I'm just gonna throw that one out there.
Yeah, T-Rex for me, that's my favorite, to be honest. Right. I'd be surprised if a lot of other people can name, more than one other dinosaur besides T-Rex, but yeah, but T-Rex is cool.
Triceratops.
Yeah, Triceratops definitely has a distinct look, right? I think it's very NFT appropriate.
So it sounds like some people need to watch some more Jurassic Park. All right, so you heard it here first, T-Rex all around.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, thank you everybody for joining our AMA. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us on Twitter, which is twitter.com/UNBN or Unbanked HQ, or twitter.com/UNBNK, and we'll make sure that those get answered for you. Again, thank you so much for joining. We do what we do to help because of you guys. So thank you and have a good day.
I got a little toddler here. He's going to say hi. Hi. There. Hi, mister. Yeah.
Show us the baby.
There's the baby. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Definitely appreciate it.